Hello. In today's show, I'm going to be sharing some interesting things about me that you probably may not know. So, I'm really excited by this episode because some of the things that I'm sharing here today, I believe that if there's practitioners out there that have similar stories, it may have fueled the imposter syndrome. And I want to support you in being able to move forward and ditch that and do it anyway. So stay tuned. Welcome to our podcast, designed for psychologists, therapists, and counselors who want to take their business online and live a soul-nourished and profitable life without compromise. If you want to know the secrets used by practitioners just like you to navigate the global e-learning market successfully, then you're in the right place. I'm Dr Tilean, chartered psychologist, business mentor, and your host, and welcome to the Abundant Practitioner podcast. Hello. So here we are for today's topic, right? Which I'm laughing because it was quite interesting coming up with today's title when I was discussing what I wanted to talk about with my marketing division. And they were like, leaked secret confessions. And I was like, I got nothing to confess. But it was like, there are some interesting facts about my journey of entering the global e-learning market and being a successful part of the global e-learning market that you may not know, and that by knowing that information, it can support you in your journey in moving forward your business and your life in the direction you are called to do so. So that's my take on it. I got nothing to confess here, but I certainly have things that I want to share that you may or may not know about me that you'll find as interesting pieces of information to really support you and fuel you to move forward in your direction. All right. And it's really exciting to be back. Last week, we didn't have an episode. We were doing the Position, Price, and Promote Challenge, which was a blast. I had lots of fun. Not sure yet when the next one's going to come around, but it will come around at some point. And when it does, I'll let you know. But let's dive into today's topic, right? So I was writing down, like, what are the things I want to share? Like, that are really interesting and are going to be useful to you guys. So I've got 10 points I'm going to cover. And I really went back to the beginning of time in terms of my journey in deciding to actually leave my job and start a business. And I remember that moment because it was December 2014 and I just handed in my notice. And it's quite interesting, I think, because I'm not sure how many people would hand in their notice just before Christmas. I was also going for a divorce at the time as well. And it felt like shit was hitting the fan in all directions, if I'm honest, at that time in my life. But I knew I'd held this vision for some time, actually, before then, a number of years, to have my own business. And I hadn't done anything about it. Like, not actually, I didn't have the business, right? And December, I just had a moment, was enough is enough. And I remember writing out my letter of resignation and handed it in. And I remember the reactions being like, oh, where are you off to? Like that, like, what's the next job? And I'm thinking, there ain't going to be ever another job. The only job there's going to be is my job. And it was a real decision point. And I remember saying to people, like, I'm going to start a business. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a business. And it was pretty cool. And I remember, though, at that time, and I was reflecting on this before I came live today. And I remember at that time speaking with real confidence about what I was going to do, but feeling really fearful in terms of, like, can I do this? Like, can I pull this off? Like, me, Tilean, recently qualified. I'd literally recently qualified. Can I do this? Like, can I create a business? Really? Like, can I create my own income? I don't know if I can, right? And so that was going on all underneath the surface. And so, that's something I really wanted to share because I often speak to people, or people in my team speak to people who are recently qualified, or who haven't got a job anymore, or, because they just left as I did. And it, like, you really can create what you want to create from that space, or you might be going through a divorce or a separation or whatever. Like, just it feels really like in your life at the moment. But what I chose to do, I remember at that time, was just decide. Like, I spoke faith into the place where there was fear. I spoke faith into where I had doubt, and I just spoke with faith and could see it as done. And I remember, like, even like the leaving celebration, right? I remember it like it was yesterday, of us like having like bubbly and being like, Talean's business, like, and chairs in, and all of this, right? And that's the number one thing I want to share, is because, like, I did not feel 100% able to create my own business. I did not feel 100% able to create my own income at the time. And but I knew I could not take, and I just did not want to tolerate my life as it was, right? So December 2014, I was like, I'm out. This is what I'm here to do. This is my next level, And so I really hope that inspires, like, first point, inspires somebody that maybe is at a point in their life that is like, I'm just done with where I am at. Like, things feel like it's falling apart right now. Maybe your job isn't what you thought it was. Maybe you're like me, going through a divorce. Maybe, you're not got anywhere to live at that moment, right? And you're just like, how am I going to change things, right? I didn't even have savings at that time or anything, right? So, but what I did know is I had hope. I did know I had faith. I did know I had vision. I did know that I can pretty put my mind to just about anything and get it done if I really want it. And so I spoke faith in that time when I felt doubt, right? Like, just being honest, bringing it back there. So, and this is something I have spoken about, and spoken at events about and stuff like that. And like I say, every point I share here, I've shared at some point. It might not be new to you, but it might be. And I really hope each point inspires you in some way with your journey, right? So that's point one, right? I left my job. I didn't have no idea of what was next. But I said, I'm going to create my own company. And I did, right? So that's number one. Number two is I developed discipline. I had a plan A energy, right? I had to have a plan A energy. It was like sink or swim. That's how I saw it. Like, shit. I'm now out in the big old world of business. I have no idea what I'm doing, how to operate here. But what I do know is I've got to show up like I showed up for my job. So I've got to show up at, like, I was showing up at 9. I'm going to show up at 8. I'm showing up at 8 a.m. for work. And I'm going to be disciplined. And I developed immediately a level of discipline. If I'm going to, like, do this, I got to have discipline. Like, seriously, like, more discipline than I had going to my job, right? I didn't have an office. As I said, I was going through a divorce. Like, I didn't even have anywhere to live at the time. Like, I was like all over the place. So I created an office at my gym. Yeah. Like, I didn't rent a space or anything. Like, my gym had a cafe, right? And every day I would get up, get dressed, put on my makeup, show up for myself, and I would go down to the gym. I'd start working. I'd take a lunch break, eat in the coffee shop, go up, have a workout. Well, I'd do the workout first, then have my lunch. And then, like, I'd get back to work, go for a little walk, fresh air, and get back to it. I had discipline. I had discipline, right? Um, Serious discipline, because I had no that's all I knew. That all I could grasp onto was that employee mindset of I've got to show up for work. I'm going to show up for work. I've got to do some work, and hopefully I'll get paid, right? And so I just had that level of discipline, and also coming from a background as a health psychologist, I just knew the importance of like holistic well-being. So like I just wanted to, my mind to be strong. Like I was in that gym, like I probably was. I felt like I was running faster than anyone on the treadmill. Like I was like pumping myself, like, yes, come on, you can do this, right? Words of affirmation. Like this was things that's like my mentality at the beginning. And I share that one I chose to share because I just feel like many people don't have that discipline easily. And so you have to create discipline, right? Either it's accountability or something to help you create the discipline that you need to build it. You're building a business, right? Do you know what I mean? Like you're not just rocking up to work and doing what somebody tells you to do. You're building a business. Like it requires discipline. Um, and so I got disciplined straight up. And I believe before that point, I don't think I would have considered myself a morning person. I'm trying to think if I would. I don't think I would have. I would get up in the morning, obviously, to go to work and stuff. But at that point in time, when I decided to build a business, I became a morning person. Trust me. I got up, I got disciplined, and I found the time. And that's why, like, no excuses, guys. Like, there is no excuse, no matter how busy. Like, it could be, someone said, oh, well, I'm not like Tilean. I don't have all that time because I didn't quit my job, and I can't quit my job because, I've got family or whatever it is. I've supported so many different types of people to create success. People with like umpteen, degrees and qualifications, people with, children like of all different ages, under fives, teenagers about to leave home, they're moving home, selling a house, like they're all I want to say excuses. You know what I mean? Like everybody has limitations and challenges that are around them, and I'm going to share some of the limitations that I've started with, and I just had to get on with it. Like you can choose to focus on your limitations or and see them as true and just fight for them and just see them still there, or you just deal with it, right? You just deal with like that. Okay, that's something that's there. Am I going to let it stop me? Am I going to let it stop me? The fact that I'm black, the fact that I'm a woman, the fact that I don't have any savings, the fact that I don't know how to set up a business. I've never done this before. Am I going to let that stop me and use these as all their limitations, right? And fight for my limitations? Or am I going to like use that as fuel to be like, I need to find stuff. I need to find out how. And I think, this even goes then into language, like the language. I just used real empowering language. I'm not saying that I didn't ever feel scared or not know what to do. Yes, I did. And that's going to lead me into point 3. Because I did feel like nervous and fearful and oh my God, can I do this? And really, is this possible for me? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like Tilean from South London, like that's me, right? But I was able to move through that space, even though I felt that way. And so point 3 is that I started investing in myself. I recognize that to build a business, you need investment capital, and I have none, right? I didn't have any investment capital for my business. Okay. And so I'm crossing off the points to make sure I do, right? So I didn't have any investment capital. I knew that businesses required investment capital. And so point 3 is I had to use debt to leverage my way up, right? Now that can be in some people's eyes a limitation. Yeah. But I knew I knew where I wanted to go. I knew that I needed money to get where I'm going, and I had to use debt. And I had to build a relationship with it that wasn't fearful or scared or anything. I just knew in the vision that God had for me and that I had for me in my life was greater than I even could imagine it. And so I did what I needed to do to leverage my way up, right? I did it. I did what I needed to do to leverage my way up. I invested. I personally bet on me. I personally bet on my business. That's what I did, right? I had good credit, a decent credit. I was able to get some investment capital myself and bet on myself, right? And there's so many business people that do that. So many business owners that have to bet on themselves, that have to, get some investment capital from outside of their knowing of how they're going to do it, right? You see that all the time. Speak to any business owner, watch Dragon's Den, Shark Tank. You know what I mean? So I didn't make myself feel bad in any way of that. That was what I needed to do to get where I needed to go. I just did it. And so where did I need to first invest? What did I first invest in? I first realized, I can't remember my very, very first investment. I'm trying to think whether I bought a domain name first or what did I do? I can't remember. But I remember very quickly knowing I need guidance. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not even going to pretend I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I did not have the foggiest of what to do in building a business that in the way that I wanted to build a business. I didn't want traditional private practice. I didn't want like pure one-on-one. I didn't want that model. So I discovered a new way, which is how Discover a New Way and what I do in my program now with practitioners as well, is to help them discover a new way. Like I ditched that. That didn't even make sense to me when I started, right? So it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted freedom. I wanted location freedom, right? I lived in Barbados. I lived in America. Back in the UK, I knew the kind of life I wanted to live, right? I knew the kind of impact I wanted to have. And I knew I needed to figure out that this is not inconceivable. God has not planted a vision within me that is not unobtainable. Like it's obtainable. I can absolutely 100% create what is inside of me. Like I just felt that. And you know how I had not the foggiest of ideas, right? And I remember, I'm very much of a spiritual person. So you might hear me talk about God. I do believe in God. You might hear me talk about my spirituality, and it's of no means to offend or anything like that. It's just who I am and where my beliefs lie. And I remember being in prayer and being like, I need help. I need bring me some guidance here, right? Because I left my job. I'm like, sink or swim. I need to do one or the other. And I'm deciding I want to swim. So I need help. I need help. I need somebody to show me, to guide me, right? And so I personally invested by leveraging debt in my first ever business mentor. Yeah. Just like you can probably feel the relief. I'm not going back into my story, like remembering it. I remember being like really nervous and scared about like making the investment, but I knew I had to do. I didn't have a clue. So what was the alternative? Go and get a job. I wasn't out. Like I had made a decision. No, like I had decided this is my vision. This is what I've been holding on to for years. I'm creating it now. I'm not going back. I'm just creating what I know I can create. I just need some assistance. I need some guidance. I'm not afraid to say, I don't know what I don't know. Okay. So help, come along, show me the way, show me the person. And I received the person that first helped me. Okay. Dr. Sherry. We still keeping in contact. And I continue to have, and I've always had, in nearly 7 years of business, high level mentors. I have not scrimped or say like on that, right? I have invested in my mentorship highly, like very highly. Okay. And every time it paid off, every single time. There was no way I would know what I know today by just researching on YouTube. I don't even think the information exists. Like, if I was just for 7 years researching all the information I know on YouTube or free workshops or challenges or whatever it is, books, there's no way. And I'm not a silly girl, right? Yeah. But there's no way I could have pieced together what I know today that is required to have a successful online business. There's no way at all, right? So I invested in learning what I needed to learn to achieve what I knew I could achieve, right? And to me, it made no difference in being in integrity in the same way I'd invested in my time, my money, my energy, and resource into becoming a doctor in psychology, right? And so that's one of the things as well, is like really think it, like these are things that really help me fight the imposter syndrome, really help me fight through my doubtful or fearful moments, really help me go, right? So number 5 is that really, really helped, because I knew I needed to know things that I didn't know. I knew I needed to know things that I did not know, right? Also, I had a time. I had like, time is not waiting for me, okay? Like, I now have relinquished my income from coming from a salaried employer. I've said no more to that. So the only choice I had decided to have for my next salary was, I need to create it. I need to create it. I choose to create it, right? I made that choice. Okay. And so here's what happened. This is point 5. I'm going to give you point 5. It took 7 weeks and 4 days for me to sign my first client. 7 weeks. Do you know what 7 weeks and 4 days is like? When you have like, you imagine me, like, jump into my imagination for a moment. You leave your job just before Christmas, right? You say, bye, I'm gonna start my business, right? You're now like believing in yourself, you're building up the belief in yourself, even though you don't even know what you're doing, right? You've invested in a mentor to give you some guidance, which is helping. You have accumulated debt because you didn't have any savings or investment capital to start your business. And now 1 week's gone, 2 weeks gone, 3 weeks gone, 4 weeks going. How many would have given up at 4 weeks? Would have got so nervous, so trembling ground, would have gone and got a job, right? 5 weeks is gone. 6 weeks is gone. I remember 7 weeks going, there's no way I can go 2 months. There's no way. No way. Like, this is insane. Like, I know I can do this. Right? And 7 weeks, 4 days, done. I broke the ceiling, right? The momentum then carried on from then. What happened in that time was shedding. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to tell anybody that it was easy, right? And I had a mentor, yeah, a very successful one, right? But I understood there's a process, yeah? There was like a shedding that needed to happen on the journey for me to break some generational chains, for me to ditch some mindsets that I'd accumulated through my years on this earth since I'd been born, in order to rise up to another level, right? It was just had to happen, okay? I really hope this is serving those that get to see this and watch this and listen to this episode, because I don't even know what I was going to say here, but I really feel like there's some real power coming through, and so there's that commitment and that determination and that remaining connected to the vision and not giving up. And I guess there came a point where I had gone so far that it was going to be as hard to turn back as it was to keep going forward. And so I just kept going forward and then I did it, right? So that's what happened. And so that's my point 5. So let me do a quick recap and then I will go into my next 5 points on what can help you that you might be experiencing that might be giving you imposter syndrome, or you might be feeling like, can I do this? Like, can I build my own business? Can I discover a new way? Can I do things against the norm of what I've been told to do or what I see the majority doing? Can I do it in a whole new light? And yes, you can. So point 1 I discussed was that I made a decision. And you don't have to do this, right? You know, it probably put me into a more of a state of like fight or flight type of thing, you know, of sink or swim, because I said, I'm leaving my job, right? I just decided, okay. But what I did do in that point when I shared point 1 is I spoke faith when I doubted. I spoke faith when I felt fearful, right? So that was point 1 I covered. Point 2 was I developed discipline, right? I decided to show up like with more discipline for what I wanted to create than I did at my job, right? Because what I wanted to create was far bigger and better and more expansive, more soul nourishing, and more soul aligned than where I'd been. Number 3, I used debt to leverage my way up. I didn't have it. I did not have it, right? I'm going to be absolutely 100% transparent. When I started, I was one of those stories that you might have to hear of like, how the hell did they make it through? You know, like I don't come from a family of wealth or anything like that. I didn't have savings. I didn't have anything to start any investment capital, right? But I did that. Okay. I believed in my vision. I believed in the outcome I was being called to create, and I just followed diligently. Number 4 is it. I started investing in mentorship. I started, you know, learning what I needed to know. I was not afraid of saying, I don't know. This world of business, I have no clue, right? Psychology, throw me all the theories, right? You know, send me somebody. I can help somebody with change, right? Create a behavior change program. I can do all of that. Business, I don't know, right? So I invested in myself and I continue to invest till this day. Okay. I'm actually in 2 masterminds right now, right? Number 5 was it was 7 weeks and 4 days before I signed my first client, right? 7 weeks and 4 days. Imagine my mindset in that time. Imagine my energy. Imagine how the doubt had to rise up. Jeez. Right. And the faith I had to really channel in that time to get through. So they're the first 5 points. The other thing is the next point I want to make is there was a lot of things going on that I had to deal with along the way, right? I had always been somebody that felt I had to work extra hard. And this was something I had to work through on my journey of entrepreneurship. But it was always that, like, I need to work extra hard. Like, everything for me is just extra hard. Whether it was the conditioning of, as a Black person, you need to work 10 times harder. As a woman, you need to work harder, right? Whether it was all of that coming into play, there was life experiences that just felt like I had to work harder, right? I went and done A-levels, and for A-levels, I chose media studies. Like I've mentioned before, I thought I wanted to be a TV presenter for a children's TV show. That was one idea of where my life would go. And then I took A-levels in maths as well. And I took A-level in, originally it was biology, and then it shifted over to psychology because they had recently released at that college that there was going to be the first time running psychology A-level. And so I jumped on it. I was like, oh my God, it's like a sign. I'm going to be a psychologist, right? Like God knows I want to be either a psychologist or a TV presenter. So I jumped into psychology. Do you know what it's like to actually like have the vision from an early age to become a psychologist and then have an E in psychology A-level? That's what happened. And I was like, whoa, right? It was a small cohort of us. We all didn't get through. It was something with the curriculum or whatever. But at that time, it was just like a crushing of like defeat. Like, how am I going to do this now? Like, what happens? Right? So from that point, I just felt like I had to work twice as hard, 10 times as hard to even make it as a psychologist, let alone being a black woman, right? You know, with them the statistics of how many black people were in the field in psychology in the UK. So it was like that as well, like living in my truth of of gaining the experience, gaining the qualifications, right? Going forward, doing the undergraduate, getting on an undergraduate degree, moving to the university that I actually wanted, getting the master's, getting the doctorate, working alongside all of those. I worked all the way through doing my education to prove a point to myself that I am enough. I'm enough. I'm enough to be in this profession. Accept me in. You know what I mean? Like, please get me in. Like, and I share that because if you are somebody that is like got any type of imposter syndrome, like, who am I? Like, just get rid of it. I'm excellent at what I done, right? At what I do. I'm excellent at what I do. I'm excellent at helping people with change. I'm excellent with their mindset. Like, I know my stuff, right? But it came through that there was a crushing in that space. Yeah. And I really share that because no matter what life throws at you, like, that does not define you unless you choose it to define you. How many people would have just stopped there, would have given up all hopes and dreams and possibilities of being able to do that? You know, not being able to see themselves have the publications or have the degrees or the certificates that they saw themselves have because that first hurdle just went boom, right? And that's the same with business. There's going to be times when you're going to feel bump, right? And you just got to get up and say, what needs to happen now? Like, my vision hasn't changed. What needs to happen now? And so there was this attitude. But I now look back and see, like, God was just preparing me for who I needed to be, for where I was going, right? So there was that. The other part is like that could come up. It doesn't come up at all because I seriously have, like I mentioned, invested in mentors and studying and really knowledge and knowing and practical experience and everything to get where I have today, right? But something that could have come up as like imposter syndrome for me, especially with this work that I do with my psychologists, counselors, therapists, practitioners, and I help them set up their business, is like, I'm not qualified in marketing at all, right? But I know marketing. My marketing division are like, Tilean, you know marketing. Like, you keep us on our toes with marketing because I know it. I studied it. I fell down. I know it. I understand that a marketing system is absolutely 100% critical in your success of leveraging a scalable online business, right? Hope and pray marketing will not get you there. I don't care about whoever you are hearing out there tell you that, you know, energy and alignment can all work through. Energy alignment and spirituality, yes, it comes into play. I'm very much into all of that. And I talk about that on a large scale, especially with my clients. But you do need systems, right? Data, like ability to understand things. Okay. And so through my experience, I've built that up. I know what I know. I know my stuff with full confidence. I can have a whole blown conversation about marketing, right? With a professional marketeer, yeah, that has an MBA, whatever, doctorate in marketing. I don't care, right? We can have an actual conversation. Yes, I'll be open to hearing what they've got to say, but I also know how to like really understand what I do and what I teach people to do. I know my stuff. So recognize where you may know your stuff, but you feel like, I'm not quite qualified, right? Yeah, like, just get it, like, you know what you know. Just get over yourself and get out there and help people. Um, so where was I? How many points? I don't even know what point I'm on. I think I've got a few more left. I kind of molded them together. Um, And because they were the main ones. I'm just looking at my piece of paper, but they're the main points I really, really wanted to cover in terms of things that you might be going through that you feel may stop you in your tracks. And you don't need to stop in your tracks at all. You can absolutely 100% create the success that you are imagining in your mind. It's not in your mind for no reason, right? But you've got to bet on yourself. You've got to show up disciplined. You've got to be open to learning. You've got to be open to doing the work. You've got to be open to it taking time, right? Yeah. And you've got to keep the faith in all of that. You've got to allow yourself to shed anything that tells you that you're not enough, or anything that tells you that you're not possible. You've got to let it go. You may have to redefine what you make things mean to you, the perspectives that you hold around things, the perspectives that I held around money, around success, around work, around all of that stuff. They had to change. They had to change, right? And so it's about recognizing that. But all of that happened over a journey. But what happened was I made a decision to start the journey, and I made a decision to cut off the alternative. I went all in, right? I went absolutely all in. I didn't sit on a fence. I didn't huff and puff I went all in. I'm not saying I didn't feel scared. I'm not saying I didn't feel like, can I do this? I really don't know if I can do this. I really, really don't know if I can do this. I felt like that. I felt I have no idea whether I can do this. I have no idea, right? But I believe in my God there. And so I just followed, and and I'm really happy I have, because not only do I change the lives of those entrepreneurs and creatives that I work with to really support them in their lives and in how they operate in their lives and their businesses, but I also have learned so much in my journey of building a business, like really building a business, that I'm able to now support other practitioners build their dreams too. And that, I get goosebumps, right? Because I love all my practitioners that are courageously just going forward to step forward into their light and birth their visions in a way that may feel like, how can I do this? And they're doing it. They're doing it. Right. And then the fun fact I had as well is that the video that plays at the beginning of the show, if you get to see this in the Abundant Practitioner group, or whether you see it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, if you are seeing it on our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, please. That video, guess who shot that video? The videographer, if that's how you say it, was actually shooting a video for Keanu Reeves before they flew out to shoot me. So I thought that was a fun fact that you probably didn't know about me there as well. So I just wanted to end on that. But I really hope that today's episode really fuels you with some encouragement. Tag a friend if you know a friend that needs to see this, or tell them to come and see this, because regardless of what your vision is, I just want to empower you to know that you can create it. Okay, you can create it. All right, put yourself in the right environments. When I talk about environments, think about the environments I spoke about here throughout this process, throughout this throughout this episode. The environment, I had to change my environment. I wasn't living anywhere. I didn't have a home office, right? So I had to create it. So I created an environment at my gym where I could do the work that I needed to do the work that I needed to do, right? My mental environment, I had to change my mental environment. There was doubt, there was fear, there was all of that. Can I do this? I don't know if I'm enough. Oh my God, what about the E in psychology? Oh my God, I don't know about business. Oh my God, my dad tried to build a business and then he failed and I don't even know what happened to him. Oh my God, my mom's never had a business. Oh my God, right? I had to shh, 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 and speak faith into those places, over and over and over again. I had to build up my mental strength. So I had to change the mental environment, right? I had to change the environment of the people I surrounded myself. I didn't know anyone in business. I invested in people that knew business. I continued to invest in myself as well and surround myself with people that are going places, right? People that are in places, right? And all of that supported the growth and the expansion to where I am today. And I'm sure it will continue the growth and expansion to where I'm going tomorrow and the year after that, and the year after that, and 10 years from that, and decades to come. So that's me today. I hope you enjoyed that fun episode. And I will be back again for another episode, same time, same place next week. All right. So over and out. Take care. Thank you for tuning into today's show. We drop a brand new episode each week, so do subscribe. And if you like what you heard and you're ready to pivot the way you work and discover a new way, then go to www.drtilean.com/explore and book an appointment to speak with our team. We'll hop on the phone with you for about 45 minutes and help you craft out a step-by-step strategy on how you can successfully make the pivot just like our clients have. I'm Dr. Tilean. Good luck and let's talk soon.